Okay. If you're on J juice at the level that you should, you will not be judging others of what they're eating. Gone are the days of politicizing food. I do not subscribe to judgments on anybody eating whatever. Okay? Now it's time to come from the standpoint, hey, Kathy, that it's about balance. Because guess what? I can eat almost any type of food. I could eat cereal. I can drink coffee. I can go and have a dessert. I can do, let's see, I could eat a funnel cake. I can go and have a hamburger if I truly want to. I can go, well, I won't drink alcohol because I don't want to deal with that. But I don't care what people eat, okay? Because really, when you finally get yourself well balanced, you can eat things in moderation that people have judged and demonized people for eating, okay? So I've been judged about drinking coffee. We see people judge people drinking coffee. Now it's about understanding balance. Do you realize I have 6 gallons of my J juice in my cupboard right now in the refrigerator? You know why? Because I live in a society where there's a lot of different negative and positive elements out there. And so guess what? Since I don't have control over a lot of my environment as far as Wi-Fi and the pollution and whatever else, I go and counter it. And then guess what? If I choose to make, oh, let's see what. If I choose to make pancakes one day, if I choose to eat a bowl of cereal one day, if I choose to go make eggs and potatoes with whatever, okay, great. If I choose to eat chicken, okay, great. Guess what? It's all part of the protocol for one, but even when you get off the protocol, but you're still doing J juice and you're not keeping to the diet, but you're keeping a balance, you're going to be drinking J juice. And there may be some foods that you're not going to eat. But you realize that people are eating those types of foods is because they have imbalances going on. It's not time to judge anybody. Instead of saying, oh, you're bad, bad, bad for eating McDonald's, which I know I've used examples of where like somebody, is emulating someone that doesn't eat right by eating McDonald's. But yeah, if somebody eats McDonald's all the time and if somebody's eating horrible foods all the time, they have major imbalances. Try to subscribe to their intelligence than judgment. Okay? That's really, because you don't want to tell someone that you can never have this food again. No, if the food is edible, so to speak. It's not like I go to McDonald's. I don't really actively, but sometimes I say, hey, I want a Taco Bell occasionally. Okay? You know how demonized that is in the vegan, vegetarian world and the whole holistic allopathic world? Oh my God, fast food. But occasionally, I'll go eat an ice cream. Ooh, it has milk. Oh my God. Okay? But guess what? I know that I have juice at home and I use my juice that way I'm not putting myself in a bubble. And we're not condemning those that have major disturbances in their hormones that are causing them to gravitate towards some of the foods that are not good. You know what's passed down from family to generation, not just the eating habits. Yes, that's one. But it's also the natural immunity. What's that natural immunity? It's antibodies. So antibodies causes mutations. Those mutations then translate into imbalances and then reinforces the type of foods that is so prevalent in some families. Yes, some families eat horrifically. Some regions of the country, they eat like institutionalized food. I've made fun of my husband a couple of times one time. When we eat at certain restaurants, that is like institutionalized food. I mean, it's mashed potatoes. It's like Midwestern food. There's no like spices or it's not done in a specific way. Like, I mean, I'm from the West Coast. So restaurants, nice high-end restaurants have beautiful fusion food that's presented nicely and it's not like made from it's not reconstituted, add water to your mashed potatoes. It's not, I mean, there's some restaurants out here that are very inexpensive that it is like eating institutionalized food. Okay, but that's the region. Those are the mutations in the community, and that's the culture. So if you want to appeal to somebody to make changes so you can help your society, don't judge them for what they eat. Don't judge them for getting vaccines. Don't judge them. Just appeal to a higher form of intelligence, which is, hey, you know what gets passed down is mutations. Let's figure out how to fix the mutations. You can't get away from antibodies because you can't legislate morals. Pathogens are going to be swirling around from people who don't take care of themselves, not because of the vaccines, because they may be a coal miner who doesn't understand nutrition, who allowed his sickness to then mutate and then be transferred to family members who then go into the public sector like school or work and pass it around. And then there you have a mutated virus that used to be tuberculosis. Now it's like asthma or something else. Okay. So instead of coming from that judgment, so that's why it's like we have to now non-politicize diets. Now we have to realize that, okay, yes, any diet for the most part can do J juice, but you want to stay with the protocol so you don't undermine yourself and go overboard. It has you conscious. The protocol has you conscious of what types of foods out there do what to your system. That's all it's there. It's not there to say you can never have spices ever again. It's not saying that you can never have the gluten or the sugars ever again. No, you know, when I've had a few donuts in my time the last month or two. I've had a few bagels. I've had bread. Okay? But I don't have a lot of it. I mean, your body needs sugar and it needs salt. Do you realize how much sugar there is in the food supply? You realize that the carbs and the drinks and the pastas, the breads, the cakes and the cookies and all that, I mean, it's very prevalent, okay? But your body does need sugar, but it also needs a major force of electrolytes and nutrition. But there's a reasoning why we have breads and cakes and pastas and different types of, I don't know, like oatmeals and cereals. I mean, I look at the food supply and I'm like, wow, all this stuff gets converted to sugar. So you know you need sugar in your diet, but you'd also need to have a balance to where you're bringing in the right elements to counter anything that gets overabundant. So if you're just eating sugar types of foods, but you're not countering it with J juice, yeah, you're going to see cancer, candida, and everything else. So then I'm like, well, hold on a second. Then here we go. Then everything actually is okay as long as you understand balance. But right now, you can't play the whole balancing game until you get from way behind the 8 ball to then swing the pendulum the other way. And then eventually you'll meet in the middle and you can have whatever you want. Coffee. I can drink coffee without reaping the negative consequences because I'm not addicted and it's not accumulating in my system to cause an addiction. I enjoy it. It releases a nice hormone in the morning for me. I play with my hormones too, you know, but I do it in a very balanced way. Some of you play with your hormones in a very imbalanced way, and then you're seeing the issues. Once you understand how everything affects your body and you understand J juice, it's a get out of jail free card, man. I'm telling you, if you're not doing J juice, you are going to be painting yourself into a corner. You're going to be painting your children in a corner because remember, your children come from mutations. All your natural immunity through your breast milk or whatever, your kids are just as mutated as you, if not more, because they came from mutations and they're entering into a society that is very mutated, and they are going to sustain those mutations until you as a mother go and figure out how to fix the mutations so you can give them a clean blank slate to work from so they don't drop from an autoimmune disorder in like 10 years, just like you did in some way. I mean, that's why you see, like, you know, the kids that come from obese parents, these kids are obese in some way. Well, how does that work? Because it's that natural immunity. There is that mutation that was passed down from mother to child. And so the kids end up looking like their mom or their dad. Well, how do you break that cycle, that chain? How do you do it? Well, you have to fix the mutations. It's that simple. You can take offense to whatever I'm saying. That's okay. But that's the reality. So it's time to break the chain of mutations It's time to break the chain of mutations, and let's create a blank slate so that way your kids aren't painted in a corner. That's the way you don't get painted into a corner and where you're living in a bubble, and then you have freedom, because guess what? People who are mutated are not free. They are in a very tight bubble. And so I'm trying to free y'all from the chains of the mutations. Break the chain of mutations. Fuck yeah, that's a great slogan. Break the chain of mutations. Ooh, I like that one. Hey, Kevin, that's good for the book. All right, talk to you later. Bye.